I don't know what's happening in the office. I know they were trying to contact the White Sox officials a few minutes ago.
Everybody was confused in Albuquerque last night. The Pacific Coast League's Albuquerque Dukes were supposed to play the Chicago White Sox Top Farm Club, the Vancouver Canadians. But when the Dukes took the field and the lineup card taken to the umps, no Canadians. They were back at their hotel refusing to play, they say, because of consistently late paychecks. The most recent one late by 6 days.
We have obligations just like anybody else. We have to meet our deadlines when we pay our bills. If we don't have our money in our hands when those bills are due, we have to take the brunt of it.
Taking the brunt of their last-minute power play, New Mexico's fans.
It's terrible. Not only did the game get canceled, but we don't have beer, so we're in trouble. The White Sox must be broke.
I'm not very pleased.
A new first for me. I've been in the game 26 seasons. It's my 25th anniversary year, and it's the first I've ever had one of these, but I've never seen it in the States. No.
White Sox officials say the Czechs will be in Albuquerque today. They will play ball tonight. Paul Davis for NBC News, Albuquerque.
Come over here to the side by that ramp.
The nearly 6,000 strong up at the crack of dawn. Wake up, bub. It's time to find out what you're made of. The full marathon always separates the men and women from the boys and girls. A Kenyan, now living in Albuquerque, won the men's. Sam Rotiche beat Kenny Wilson by 40 seconds, a 2-hour, 23-minute jaunt. Sheepish and shy Mary Downey laid back in second place till the last mile before spurting on to defend her women's title. Boulder's Valerie Hosing finished 2 minutes behind after leading most of the way.
I think I had the better advantage of being behind her and coming up on her and cutting my time down and knowing if I just maintained I could pick her up.
Some opted for the not-so-insane half marathon. Fort Collins' Libby Johnson first for the women. The Duke City's Aaron Ramirez likewise for the men. The wheelchair division also a half marathon. Paul Phelan number 1 along with Joanne Shope. And the 20K walk seemed to bring out the movers and shakers.
I'm feeling pretty tired. No, I'm feeling pretty good, actually. No, actually, I'm feeling pretty tired.
The Sharp family out of Colorado, Ray and Wendy, hogged the 20K's first place awards. Awards? Who cares about awards?
Why? Oh, because it was wonderful. It's nice to get out here, and
We've been doing it all summer. We've been walking 3 miles every morning in the summer.
Marie Boyd, Aaron Ramirez, 5K run champs. In the walk, it was Randy Burton and Holly Roberts. Then there's the TV stars.
Eisenhower had CPR on the 4th mile, but here he is. He's back.
Bill, how was it?
Well, it was terrific.
All told, New Mexicans and some out-of-staters thrown in logged a grand total of 45,500 miles. That's almost twice around the world. Paul Davis, News 4, Albuquerque. There's a lot more to the fun and excitement of a high school football game besides the action on the field. The shenanigans in the stand. Why a good marching band can mean the difference between you leaving at halftime and you hanging around for a second-half comeback. If you've been to a Manzano game this year, you don't need me to tell you what your ears have already confirmed. The Fighting Monarchs have the best darn band in the land. The Fighting Monarchs Royal Guard, under the direction of Gary Shallert, outperformed 35 other bands from around the state at this past weekend's championships. They're number 1. This crew spent over 200 hours working on their award-winning show. They practice daily, starting bright and early at 6:45. But you don't read much about them in the papers. No matter.
I think there's a great deal of self-satisfaction in that we know we do a good job and we work the hardest we can, and that is the most important thing.
Do you really believe that the Fighting Monarchs have the best band in the land?
Yep, we have the trophy to prove it too.
Good. If it had been a regular season outing, the 7,000 plus in the stands would have been a little discouraging. But hey, it was only Lobo Howl. Besides the free ice cream, Lobo wrestling, baseball, and gymnastics exhibitions, the Blast from the Past, a real squeaker too. Studs from the 70s just did beat their 80s counterparts. Everybody's a Lobo! Everybody on their feet waiting at the countdown till midnight. And then at 12:01, the 89-90 Lobos in the spotlight. In the Cherry Silver scrimmage, we heard from rookies Andre McGee, J.J. Griego, and Sammy Liberator. Old standby Luke Long was there. Sophomore Willie Banks won halftime slam dunk contest. Yeah, I agreed with the judges' scoring.
I think that the people that they brought in to look at the Lobos and new recruits and things must think it's really something. I do.
This looks like the best team I've ever seen here, kids.
Not a bad first outing for this year's Lobo basketball team, although I'm sure lots of folks late to church this morning, but it was well worth the sneak preview. Paul Davis, News 4, Albuquerque. Welcome back to the show, everybody. A special guest tonight, the one and only Gerry Faust, head coach currently at Akron with the Zips. He used to coach the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and formerly, also should mention, of Moeller High in Cincinnati. Coach, thank you very much for joining us. How was your trip in?
Well, it was pretty good, Paul. We didn't have any problems, and when we transferred planes in Chicago was one gate apart. That doesn't happen too often, so maybe things will go good for us. Maybe we're on a roll for a change.
I hope not. Coach, I want to ask you about the 88 Zips. Give us a thumbnail sketch of what the fans in the state of New Mexico can see tomorrow on the gridiron.
We're an aggressive football team, I think. We play hard. Sometimes we don't play well, but we play hard. And we have a lot of inexperience on our football team, but we're getting better. And even though we haven't won this year, we're a better football team than we were last year, and we're a much better football team than we were the year before when we were 7-4.
Let me ask you a question that's been in my mind for maybe a year and a half, and I don't want to get you mad at me, but it's something that I have thought about a lot. And you reached a lifelong dream, from what I understand, when you got to Notre Dame.
No question about it. Yeah.
You were written up in Sports Illustrated and thousands of magazines. We all watched you for 5 years, I believe, with the Irish, and then the contract isn't renewed. So you're in a situation where you reach a lifelong dream, you get there, and then now the dream is gone and you're back at Akron. And on a personal situation, a personal thought basis, has it been tough to accept that? I know you're a coach first and you love the game of football.
Well, you love kids, and that's why you're in it. You know, first of all, to be honest with you, Paul, there wasn't anything to do with the contract being renewed. I stepped down on my own, and I think possibly they probably would have kept me if I wanted to stay. But I thought it was best for Notre Dame. I thought it was best for me and best for the young players that I needed to change. I felt they needed to change. Secondly, I had some opportunities after I left there, and I chose the University of Akron because I felt it had an opportunity to be a big-time football program down the line. I was impressed with the president of the university. I was impressed with the location of the university and what it had to offer young people. So I chose there. It's been a frustrating experience in the aspect that, you go from a high school program that was probably the best or one of the best in the country, and you did things right, and you built to those things. You go to a college program that knew how to do things right, had great tradition, probably is the pinnacle of college football, and then you go to a program that's trying to build, into 1A football and learning how to do things, and that becomes frustrating.
You've used the word tradition several times. What a tradition at Moeller High in Cincinnati. You were there 18 years. This guy was there 18 years, 174 wins, just 17 losses, 5 state titles. Reminisce. How did you do that, Coach?
Well, first of all, you build a program with quality people, and we had some quality athletes, and I had quality coaches. And we had built this thing. We were a brand new high school, and we didn't have anybody there before us, and so we built the tradition. We had 220 young men playing football on 3 levels when I left there, and we had 18 coaches on 3 levels, and we two-platoon completely, and you played as a freshman team, you played on a sophomore team, you sat as a junior on a varsity, and you played as a senior. And that was sort of the tradition, and it built and got better and better, and we had 280-some young men get college scholarships in the 18 years I was there, so there was a lot of good from it.
You've been coaching a long time. What do you say to a young coach who's maybe having problems winning, or maybe he's not sure he's doing the right thing for the kids? Is there any 1 or 2 key points that you'd like to get to a young coach, to help him be a better coach?
Well, I think, first of all, a coach, even a young or an old coach, you have to coach within your personality. You cannot take someone's personality that emulates someone that's been successful. I think you have to be from within yourself, and therefore sincerity comes out from that. And I think young people, the most important thing is sincerity. And I think that if you're really genuinely interested in young people, the winning is really secondary. It will come, but it's really secondary. I think a high school coach is there to build and mold young people to be better people in life. And to tell all these young coaches, even the old coaches in the state here, I enjoyed my years, 21 years in high school coaching. Actually, it was 23, 2 years as an assistant and 21 years at Moeller, but 18 varsity teams. And I enjoyed it immensely. And if I didn't go to Notre Dame, I never would have left the high school ranks.
Thank you very much for joining us. You're a busy man.
Thank you,
One of the most recognizable football coaches in all of America. Let me, at this point now, say that we have the rest of the state's high school football scores now for you on a roll.
I did it because I'm crazy as I did it.
For whatever reasons, diehards took off this morning like they do every year on the grueling Lalou Sandia Mountain Run. 9 twisting, turning miles up the face of the stubborn mountain. Folks, it's pure torture.
It's a bear. Train and train hard. It's rough. It was really rough.
For most, the thought of finishing first is out of the question. It's making it to the top conscious that means everything.
This is insane.
This year's Lalou's Ironman, Colorado's Charles England. First place in 1 hour, 16 minutes. He was prepared.
Well, I have a lot of confidence. My training's going real well earlier in the year. And I had pretty good rest earlier this week because I had an injury, so I had to rest that up.
Tops for the ladies, also from Colorado, Lynn Brown, about 20 minutes behind England. Way to go, everybody who made it to the top.
Over the years, people who know furs know Harper's.
Paul Davis is talking basketball first off tonight.
Do it, big boy.
I thought I'd be talking toys. I'm surrounded. I don't have anything to work here, you guys.
We'll talk about the toys a little later.
I hope so. Let's talk basketball, like Maury said. Dennis Sanchez trekked his Berlin Eagle basketball team up to Albuquerque tonight. Jerry Brown's El Dorado Eagles waiting for him at the gym. And what would any of these teams be without the hard-working cheerleaders? Second half, Eagles hitting the board strong. The miss there, Danny Padilla with the putback. Berlin is a AAA school, right? They tried to stick with the Quad A club. Brian Robertson, Mr. Nonchalant for 3. He was the game high man with 20. Off the bench for El Dorado, Scott Davis, a good last name, and a good second half. He had 11 points, a 3-point number there. Didn't I say El Dorado ruled the boards tonight? Paul Nelson, the stick back, he had 16. El Dorado by 17 tonight. Also, La Cueva 77, Del Norte 41 this evening. Now, I couldn't jump as a high schooler. That's why I opted for 4 years of wrestling. I understand what a tough sport it is. Tonight, Highland against Monzano, 135 pounds. Hornets Brandon Alderman in the royal blue against the Monarchs Brad Dixon in gray. A great move from Alderman. Gives him 2. That put him up 15-0. Match was stopped. They called a major decision. 145, Robert Velasquez of Highland against Adrian Cadero of Monzano. And these back points helped Velasquez. He won it 8-4. 152, Paul Castalis showing Kurt Krut the lights, but Highland wins this match tonight They are 1-0 on the young season. When the NBA's Dallas Mavs lost by 47 points to Seattle over the weekend, the fans were chanting, "Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys." Today, team management unhappy with the Mavericks' lackluster play fired head coach John McLeod just 11 games into the season. On the court tonight, the 76ers looking good this year against Cleveland. Philadelphia in white, and you know who gives me the heebie-jeebies for the 76ers? The Charles Barkley. I mean, is he a hard-nosed intimidator or what? The 3-on-1 there, Barkley scores. 76ers won at 114-84. In Maryland, Bullets versus the Hawks. Under a minute to go, Jeff Malone will cut the lead from Atlanta to 2. Bullets are down by 2. Luck on the Hawks side, though. Their next possession, Doc Rivers takes the shot.
Doc Rivers, does he get the roll? Yes, he does.
And the Hawks go on to beat the Bullets tonight 111-104. Remember how frustrating it was the last time you played tennis and the guy or gal you were up against just whipped your tail? I've been there. And so has Andre Agassi against Boris Becker tonight in the Masters round robin tourney. Look where Andre Agassi is standing. He is almost in the bleachers. He is so upset because Becker is just blowing him away. Well, look at this. He nets the ball, but the official, the ump, says, "Wait a minute, Boris. Wait a minute, Andre. That didn't count." Becker says, "What are you talking about? He said he was ready, and I said it, and I won the point." Andre says, "I'm sorry, I started the whole thing." And in the end, the point counted for Becker. Becker won this thing in a cakewalk, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. Agassi legs. Wouldn't videotape of a wedding be the last thing you'd expect to see here in my sports segment? Check it out. West Virginia Tech assistant coach Tom White has been so busy helping prepare the Golden Bears for the NAIA playoffs, he couldn't find time to get married until today, right after practice at the 50-yard line.
I pronounce that they are husband and wife together in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Those whom God has joined together, let not man put asunder. Mike, you may kiss your bride.
White and his new wife now face life's next 1st and 10 together. Are you pick and pull this week? Bengals and Browns, what do you think? Or, if you prefer, the Oilers against the Steelers. Our 2 o'clock game on Sunday, we will air Denver against the Raiders. Denver will find out just how much Bo knows football. College basketball tonight quickly. Oklahoma beats U.S. International 173-101. Oklahoma had 97 points in the first half. That is a new NCAA record.
Lots of points.
They took no prisoners.
Thanks, you, Paul.
We've been seeing the letters G, PG, R, and X for 20.
It may have been calm and peaceful outside the hornet's nest, but inside? They had the entire student body there for second period. Boy, if you could bottle and sell all the excitement and enthusiasm, they'd make a mint. Although I think they'd just settle for a state championship. Guess who the keynote speaker was?
That's what you will remember 15 years from tomorrow, that you as a ball player gave it your best shot.
After some kudos for excellence in the classroom, a taste of what Hornet fans would see tomorrow in Clovis. Hope the Wildcats aren't watching.
Yeah, we've been pumped all week, just going to the state. That's all we need,
Well, it gets the blood pumping and gets us riled up and ready to get the gear on and go out and play the game.
Last order of business before the battle, a good night's sleep, huh?
What sleep? I won't sleep tonight. I haven't slept very well for about 8 weeks now.
Football in just a minute, but let's talk basketball. Wherever you're from, you understand what rivalries are all about. Well, let's go live to Las Cruces, where New Mexico's best rivalry, the Lobos and Aggies, is about an hour away. And if it's big, then our Paul Davis gets a front row seat. Paul?
Scott, no doubt people around this state are excited about this game tonight here at the Pan Am Center. Last night, Channel 4 news producer Mike DeFries comes up to me and he says, "Hey, Paul, how about that game tomorrow night? Who's going to win it?" Well, the reason I bring that story up is Mike DeFries is from Wisconsin. With 8 new faces on their roster, 6 lettermen gone from last year, the Aggies figured to be the masters of rebuilding. But when UTEP's Miners needed a 3-pointer at the buzzer to beat them the other day, the alarm went off. State is pretty good.
No, I don't know who said that they were down. I think they played UTEP really well. I haven't seen the tape, but from what I've heard, they've certainly got plenty of talent and a good coach.
UNM playing on the road for the first time this year. Isn't it too early to be talking about key games?
I think it's probably in